It looks as if Spider-Man 2 on the PS5 is having a number of issues upon release.
He stopped starting his videos with the book plug. Like, he used to start all of his videos like, "This is Cody Lee of books, and he just completely stopped doing that. So W for literature.
So I'm hearing reports that like there's an installation problem where the game isn't playable for a lot of people because a patch isn't downloading correctly. I'm seeing people complain about wokeness. I'm seeing people complain about the declining quality from the first game in general.
Yeah, people have criticisms of Spider-Man 2. And I mean, criticism is totally justified. If you don't like a part of a game, you can criticize it. If there's stuff like, massive technical problems and installation problems, absolutely criticize that. Did you hear my voice crack there? It's early. It's 7:31 a.m. I'm getting this one out of the way nice and quick. Because when I need a video, I can always rely on Harmon Smith to give me the worst thing I've ever seen and make people laugh with me making fun of it. But yes, Spider-Man 2 has been getting criticism. This is not weird. It's not out of the ordinary, but I'm sure you're going to make it seem like it is.
And then there are people like me who would never, ever support the game to begin with because it has Miles Morales, right?
That's not quite the direction I thought you were going.
Who is not Spider-Man, right? When I buy a Spider-Man game, I want to play as Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Yeah, for the next 30 seconds, he just goes on a weird rant about the existence of Miles Morales. So I'm just going to skip ahead of that because I don't really want to touch that topic with a 10-foot pole.
It's interesting to see kind of the narrative around Spider-Man 2 fall apart because for the past couple of months, people were hyping this up as the next major release for PlayStation.
It was.
This was going to be the big thing.
It was.
This was going to stomp Mario. This was going to be a huge deal. But
it was a huge deal. I don't know if it stomped Mario, but was anyone comparing this game to Mario leading up to release? I thought Starfield was the big comparison. Spider-Man 2 is gonna bash Starfield. Spider-Man 2 is gonna eat Starfield for breakfast. I haven't heard a single person compare Spider-Man 2 to fucking Mario.
As the months dragged on, as we begin to learn more and more about it, as we begin to see, get those pre-order numbers in, Mario was outselling it on Amazon. When we saw those review scores, Mario outperformed it. When we saw, the games themselves, it was pretty obvious, to everyone, that wasn't a complete snoy, that Mario was the far superior game.
Hang on, I'm gonna look into this. Mario Bro, what's the new one called? This isn't scripted. I'm genuinely trying to remember what the name of the last Mario game was without googling it. Wonder, Mario Bros. Wonder. That's what it's called. Yep, I was right. Oh my god. Mario Bros. Wonder came out same day as Spider-Man. I'm just fact-checking all the stuff that you just said, because I just instinctively don't believe you when you say things. 92 on Metacritic versus Spider-Man's 91. So, okay. Fucking smack down there, I guess. But when it comes to the sales argument, there's kind of conflicting reports on this. It really just depends where you're looking. Because according to GamesIndustry.biz, Spider-Man 2 beat Super Mario Bros. Wonder in the UK. And then Mario took the top spot a week later. But again, that's from the UK charts. Numbers like this just are hard to find these days. The fact that it was this close when there's 3 times as many Switches than there are PS5s out in the market, the fact that it was this close at all is impressive on Spider-Man's part. Both games performed extremely well, both critically and financially. They're literally 1 point away from each other on Metacritic, or at least last time I looked at the fucking Metacritic for Spider-Man 2. I remember it as a 91. It's either a 90 or a 91, and it's, 90 or 91 versus 92. Are we really going to start fucking drawing the line there? I hate this. Just keep talking. I'm rambling because you are giving me so little to go off of. Please, just for the sake of everyone involved, I need you to be more interesting.
But I had plenty of people in my comments section, in my community posts, trying to tell me, no, Spider-Man is better. It's open world, Mario.
I will have it known, I have never left a comment on this man's channel. I've never left a comment on his videos, I don't think. I don't think I've ever left a comment on his community posts. So, hashtag wasn't me.
Mario's just a 2D platformer. It's not even a major release for Nintendo.
I'm sorry, who was saying Mario Bros. Wonder wasn't a major release for Switch? Or for Nintendo, who was saying the new Mario game was not a big deal?
They're gearing up for Switch 2 because they know they'll never be able to outperform Spider-Man.
Bro, I gotta tell you, not everyone thinks about Nintendo like you. I just gotta break it to you. Not everyone is instantly comparing everything to Nintendo all the time. the way that you are. Like, I'm serious. I didn't hear any comparisons between Spider-Man and Mario. And I'm constantly searching through gaming Twitter for stupid takes to make videos about. I would have seen that.
It led me down this rabbit hole of like research, realizing that like Mario is actually a bigger brand than Spider-Man,
I mean, debatable. Spider-Man is the most popular superhero on the planet, but I guess Mario is also incredibly famous and also had a big movie that a bunch of families probably went and saw, so more people know who he is. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to poke holes here. Give me more holes.
Realizing that like we've seen a huge decline in sales over Spider-Man over the past several years. We're like realizing that like the Mario movie is better than Spider-Man. It did far better than any Spider-Man movie.
I mean, that's literally not true. I mean, here's the list of highest grossing films of all time. And in case you need to know where you're looking here, number 7 is Spider-Man. Number 16 is Mario. So you're just wrong about this.
Realizing that like the people who are praising Spider-Man are just hopping on a bandwagon and have no real inclination to like play video games at all.
What? People hopping on bandwagons without understanding topics? Who could be doing that?
Like, it's kind of like the Baldur's Gate 3 thing again, where like you just have a bunch of people trying to like meme this game into being successful. Like, oh, if we just like...
Baldur's Gate was one of the most praised games ever because it's fucking good. Why did I say that like I was in Mean Girls? It's fucking good, Stacy. There's no character in Mean Girls named Stacy. I should know that. But Baldur's Gate 3 was the perfect example of a completely organic growth for a video game, and it was so satisfying to watch. The fact that you're trying to pass this off as just people like bandwagoning on the popularity of Baldur's Gate 3 and like memeing it, like, yeah, there were tons of Baldur's Gate 3 memes, and yeah, the people playing Baldur's Gate 3 were trying to get more people to play Baldur's Gate 3 because it was a good game. But also, how were people playing it in the first place? Basically just word of mouth about how good it was. That's awesome. You don't see that very much around. You don't see that very much these days. That's why Baldur's Gate 3 was important. I don't know why you trying to like demean the insane success of Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I think just because you instantly and immediately praise anything with a Nintendo logo on it. So here comes this instance of like an actual really great game that sold itself on just how good it was. And you're just like, I don't know why. I don't know why that bothers me so much.
Type Baldur's Gate 3 onto Twitter over and over again. That'll create the illusion that the game is popular and talked about, right?
No, it wasn't an illusion. It just was popular and talked about. Because, yeah, people on Twitter and other social media platforms and just in real life, but people were telling people about the game. It wasn't a conspiracy. How are you still mad about this?
It reminded me a lot of that. Like, Spider-Man is basically like the PlayStation equivalent of Starfield, right? A game that has a ton of problems that very few people are talking about.
Very few people were talking about the Starfield problems, bro. Like the Spider-Man problems, yeah, you have more of an argument there. But to say no one was talking about Starfield's problems, my guy, are you okay?
Purely because it's an exclusive, right?
Oh, so blind praise because something is exclusive. That's a bad thing. Very interesting.
Like, the issue with Baldur's Gate 3 is that it's a PC exclusive.
It was not a PC exclusive. Baldur's Gate 3 could only be played on PC for the longest time, partially because it was on early access and on Steam, but then also because the console ports were delayed past the release of version 1.0 on PC. So for a while, it was only available on PC, but we're talking like a few months. That doesn't make a game like a PC exclusive, because a few months after the PC version came out, the console versions came out. The console versions were always planned to come out. And I'm clarifying this because you're trying to say that the hype around Baldur's Gate 3 was just because it was an exclusive, like there was some brand loyalty behind it. But like, no, again, it sold because it was a good game. People were talking about this great game. The fact that you could only play it on a PC, or the fact that, maybe some people interpreted that as a PC exclusive, because I guess it was a PC exclusive for, 2 months, And the console ports were planned from the beginning. Nobody was going into Baldur's Gate 3 with the realistic expectation of it being PC exclusive forever. That shouldn't matter to this conversation at all. But you're trying to draw that equivalency because you're looking for some way to degrade the success of Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield and Spider. You're trying to make this intellectual argument as to why games not made by Nintendo are bad, or games that people really enjoy and have a lot of quality to them are actually bad because of 1 point on a Metacritic score for a fucking Mario game, or was like 2 Metacritic points a few months ago for Zelda compared to Baldur's Gate 3. That's probably why you're still so mad about this. But just like, dude, get a job. What do you do? Just get a job. Go outside.
The issue with Starfield is that it's a Microsoft exclusive. The issue with Spider-Man is that it's a PlayStation exclusive. You have all of these games that are exclusive to 1 or 2 platforms, right?
So not exclusive then.
You have these games that are just religiously defended by certain people who simply will not admit their flaws at all.
I want you to be fucking kidding me right now. I've never wanted someone to be bullshitting me as bad as I want you to be bullshitting me right now.
Right? Like, all you had to do to realize there was something up with Spider-Man 2 was ask yourself, how exactly is this game better than the Arkham trilogy?
I mean, I personally don't think the Spider-Man games are better than the Arkham trilogy, but I also enjoy the Spider-Man games because they're just good games, you know? I can make this argument about anything that was inspired by anything else. How do you know Super Mario Bros. Wonder how is it better than New Super Mario Bros. For the DS? Or how is it better than frickin' Super Mario World? It's not better than those games. It sucks. It's shitty. I hate it.
Right? Like, wouldn't that be its primary competitor? Like, the game you would compare Spider-Man against? Like, is it better than the Batman games? How does it innovate? What does it do? Like, does it use the rogue gallery? Is it, like, bringing back classic voice actors? Is it, like, following, like, some famous comic plot line? Like, is it...
I mean, for comparisons, sure, but ultimately, these are not things that make a good game good or bad automatically. Like, whether or not they have famous voice actors, or whether or not they're adapting a plot that's already been done. Like why would that be quality in one game and not another, just like inherently? It wouldn't.
No, like, when you compare the two, like, it's obvious to anyone who's, like, remotely familiar with either brand is that, like, the Arkham trilogy had a much better, well, at least the first game.
If you're about to be a fucking Arkham Asylum elitist, I'm gonna lose my mind. If you're actually about to start, like, underhandedly throwing shade at the later Arkham games, say it with me.
The Arkham trilogy, the Arkham Asylum was a far better received Batman game than Spider-Man PS4 was as a Spider-Man game. You know,
why does that matter? Why can't they both coexist? Why does every game ever have to be the best ever to ever exist in order to be good? You know, Arkham Asylum got better reviews than Spider-Man. Whoa, that's crazy, bro. That means Spider-Man sucks a whole bunch of eggs in an alleyway. Like, no.
Arkham invented, like, its own combat system. It incorporated stealth elements. It incorporated lots of classic Batman villains in interesting ways, reasonably interesting ways. You know,
say it with me. Say it with me.
It had a reasonably good plot.
Say it with me.
Had voice actors from the animated series. Like, it had, like, all this stuff that got people excited for it. And it's not the best game in the world. It's a solid 7 out of 10, but, like, that's far better than what Spider-Man came up with.
I want you to go behind that curtain. That curtain behind you. You see that curtain over there? I want you to just go stand behind it. Take a lap. Reset, bro. So let me get this straight. You were praising the Metacritic score of Mario Bros. Wonder earlier in the video. You said that's a fantastic score. This is a fantastic game. It's better than Spider-Man 2. Only for us later to find out that you think the fact that the Spider-Man games pulled a lot of influence and a lot of structure from the Arkham games, you think that is an inherently bad thing. Minutes after praising Mario Bros. Wonder, the latest in a long line of Mario games that all take notes from each other rather blatantly. Yes, there are very creative Mario games like Mario Galaxy and Mario Sunshine and, to an extent Mario Odyssey, but we're talking about the 2D ones. Mario Bros. Wonder is a 2D Mario game. The guy praising the newest 2D Mario game, is throwing shade at Insomniac Spider-Man for being similar to Arkham. Can we all agree that's comedy?
Why exactly should I get excited for Spider-Man other than the fact, like, ooh, it's Spider-Man?
Why should I get excited for the new Mario other than the fact that it's, ooh, Mario?
Nobody has been able to justify that to me.
No one has been able to justify that to me.
Nobody has been able to justify Miles Morales' presence, or like all the QTEs, or like the fact that the combat is like a straight ripoff of Arkham, right?
This is amazing. Spider-Man took the formula of Arkham and added a bunch of its own stuff to it with a new paint job. How is this any different than the latest 2D Mario? Ooh!
Marker.
I think that was the break in train of thought that I needed, not gonna lie. I think that was enough to completely break the flow of my thought. And I'm happy to announce I don't think I can continue with this video. I'm so happy about this. Your takes are so vapid that getting a text notification just completely threw my brain off the rails. Oh my goodness. God bless my wife. Thank you for that, honey. You just did me a solid. All right, toodles.